seeing Christian Wilkins departing, reporting that he's going to Vegas for about $27.5 million a year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Las Vegas Raiders just signed the best player available in free agency, defensive lineman Christian Wilkins.
He's going to give it his all. He's going to talk his smack.
You got fined this week, didn't you? Yo, you playing for free this week, fat boy.
This really sets new expectations and changes absolutely everything for the 2024 season. The Raiders are going all in. It's been a long time since the Raiders had a dominant defensive tackle. You have to go all the way back to 2012 with Mr. Richard Seymour, a guy who did not get along with Big Ben.
Roethlisberger saying something to Seymour that he didn't like, and that will get Seymour ejected from the game.
Funny enough, Richard Seymour is now retired and also sat in on interviews helping Mark Davis pick the next coach. But going into free agency for 2024, defensive tackle was a big option for the Raiders, and another person on the list, in addition to Miami Dolphins Christian Wilkins, who the Raiders just signed, was Chris Jones, the former Kansas City Chief.
I'm just saying, the place where he played his last game as a Chief, I have no idea. I'm just trying to find a way to not allude to the fact that it's the Raiders I'm talking about.
So a lot of people around the NFL thought the Raiders were going to go after the Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones, and I'm glad they didn't. Chris Jones ended up being one of the highest paid defensive tackles in NFL history, and I just did not think it was smart to get this guy who's a little bit older, just won 2 Super Bowls. He struck me as a guy who's just trying to get the bag and then chill and not care about getting a championship with his new team. So the Raiders went in the right direction and made the right move by grabbing the Miami Dolphins defensive tackle, the 28-year-old Christian Wilkins, signing him to a massive contract here. 4-year, $110 million with $84.75 million fully guaranteed. This guy is going to be locked in on the Raiders for the next 4 years, right next to Max Crosby, giving something that Max Crosby has not had for pretty much his entire career. Unfortunately, the 2019 number 4 overall pick, Clelin Ferrell, never worked out with Max Crosby helping him out on the defensive line. And then Tyree Wilson, the first-round draft pick for the Raiders for 2023, still dealt with injury issues and was not able to ball out this past season. The Raiders, though, really came alive late in the season with Patrick Graham as the defensive coordinator, Antonio Pierce as the head coach, and had one of the more dominant defenses in the entire NFL. And they were doing this without much help on the defensive line. Malcolm Kuntz was emerging, becoming a good edge rusher that could help out Max Crosby, but they still struggled to find that dominant person in the middle. And now they finally have him with Christian Wilkins. Vegas Sports Today let us know that Christian Wilkins is good friends with Mr. Hunter Renfrow.
Christian Wilkins is one of my best friends. He was in my wedding, and so I'm gonna have to hide my towel from him because I'm sure he'll be trying to grab it. It's kind of his thing, but
watch Wilkins. He takes the towel of Kamara. Kamara's like, wait a minute, and he comes back.
Part of the reason why Christian Wilkins is good friends with Hunter Renfrow is because Wilkins played at Clemson during the same time as Hunter Renfrow. He's a 2-time CFP national champion and was 2-time first-team All-American in 2016 and 2017. But the biggest accomplishment that Christian Wilkins did, what he did last year, allowed him to get this bag, get this massive bag, which is getting 10 sacks as a defensive tackle, his career high in the 2023 season for the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey, who's currently on the Miami Dolphins, saw this new deal and is just stating the obvious, what we all know right now, which is that Christian and Max are about to go crazy this year. And you also have the Miami Dolphins running back, Kane, bringing this up, saying, nah, for real. People around the NFL know that this defensive line is absolutely stacked, absolutely loaded, and might even be the best in the NFL, especially if Tyree Wilson could get it together in year 2. I also believe Christian Wilkins showed good character last year. What happened in August in 2023, right before the season was about to start, he was unable to get a long-term contract extension with the Miami Dolphins, and he could have been upset about that. He could have soured on the fact that they weren't going to extend him, but instead he went out there, buckled down, did not slow down, and had the best year of his entire career, and this helped him play himself into a new contract. Oftentimes people could be cynical in that situation, but Christian Wilkins decided to go off instead, and it really paid off for the dude.
dude.
You could tell a lot about a player by how his teammates talk about him. We just heard Jalen Ramsey talk about him, but here's Kyle Van Noy reacting to the fact that the Miami Dolphins did not franchise Christian Wilkins going into this offseason, allowing him to test free agency. He said, "Not surprised, but this is somebody who embodies being a Dolphin, captain, has gotten better every year and does the right thing when it comes to being a true professional. Hopefully a team around the league sees that and begs him to join their team. This dude loves football and loves competing. They always will give a bag to, oh, never mind, don't matter because C. Wilkins gonna get what he deserves. Pay the man, pay the man." And yes, the man got paid. And just like Kyle Van Noy is saying, it's not just a guy who's very talented on the football field, but knows how to conduct himself as a professional. And I'm sorry, I hate to bring this up, but that's a really important feature to have when you're in Las Vegas. And we've seen tons of players getting in trouble in Las Vegas. Even players of other teams get into all kinds of drama and fights in Las Vegas. Christian Wilkins is going to be an upstanding professional and a captain able to steer other guys in the right direction. Because he's slightly younger than Chris Jones, has not won a Super Bowl yet, a little more hungry, I personally considered him the best player in free agency. Ian Rappaport noted this March 4th that he will be one of the top free agents regardless of the position. I thought Kyle Van Noy brought up a good point. The guy keeps getting better every single year. In 2019, he was selected in the first round with pick number 13 by the Miami Dolphins. And in his first 2 seasons, he only had 2 sacks each of those seasons, kind of more of a run defender around that time, but really started coming alive as a pass rusher the past 3 years. 5 sacks in 2021, another 5 in 2022, and then absolutely going off and doubling that in 2023. It doesn't get much better than that, seeing a guy steadily progress and not regressing after his rookie season at all whatsoever. By the way, don't just expect to use this guy on defense. He's also capable of playing fullback. In 2021, he was able to get a big man touchdown right here, lined up at the fullback position. The big man had hands, able to catch that pass. I want to see Luke Getsy and the Raiders maybe utilize some spider 2-wide banana with Mr. Christian Wilkins at the fullback position. That would be freaking fire. It seems like Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco want to be a defensive team, so they decided to check this box. Before quarterback, before any other position, they went all in on defensive tackle. We'll see if it pans out. Could be the right move, trying to build a dominant defense and then just fill in the gaps for the rest of the team. I think this move is an A+. Love this move, grabbing Christian Wilkins at the defensive tackle position, helping out Max Crosby and the rest of that team. And let me know your thoughts on this move in the comments below. Do you think it was the right decision? Should the Raiders have gone for a quarterback before this? Or do you think this will help this team still compete in the AFC West against the Chiefs, Chargers, and the Broncos? My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.